Every single moment you spend thinking about what you should do, someone else is out there doing it. Right now, as these words reach your ears, millions of people are sitting on their couches dreaming about the life they want. But dreams without action are just wishes floating in the wind. You know what makes the difference between the person who succeeds and the one who doesn't? One simple thing: taking action. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not even intelligence. It's the raw, determined courage to stand up and move forward. Look at your hands for a moment. These are the tools that can build your future. Your mind might be full of brilliant ideas, but without these hands putting those ideas to work, they're worth nothing more than the paper they're written on. The world doesn't reward people for what they know. It rewards them for what they do. I've watched thousands of people over the years. The ones who made it, who truly changed their lives, all shared one quality. They forced themselves to take that first step. They didn't wait for motivation to strike like lightning. They didn't wait for the perfect moment. They understood a fundamental truth. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. A cold swimming pool. You can stand at the edge for hours, dipping your toe in, waiting to feel ready, or you can jump in. Yes, it's going to be uncomfortable. Yes. It might even shock you. But within minutes, your body adjusts. Life works the same way. The human brain is fascinating. It's designed to keep us safe, to keep us in our comfort zone. It will give you 1,000 reasons why you should wait, why you should plan more, why you should get more ready. But here's the truth: you'll never feel completely ready. Never. The most successful people in the world weren't ready when they started. They just started anyway. Take Bill Gates. When he started Microsoft, he wasn't ready. He was a college drop with a big idea. What if he had waited until he felt ready? What if he had waited until he had all the answers? There would be no Microsoft today. The same goes for Steve Jobs, Walt Disney, Henry Ford. None of them waited until they were ready. They forced themselves into action. Every morning when you wake up, you have two choices. You can either force yourself to take action, or you can force yourself to make excuses. Both require force. Both require energy. The difference is that one moves you forward and the other keeps you stuck. Let me tell you about two types of people I've observed throughout my career. The first type is what I call the someday people. These folks always talk about what they're going to do someday. Someday they'll start that business. Someday they'll write that book. Someday they'll get in shape. But here's the harsh truth: someday isn't a day of the week. The second type is what I call the now people. These individuals understand that life happens in the present moment. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They don't wait for permission. They take what they have, where they are, and they start moving forward. They understand that imperfect action beats perfect inaction every single time. I'm going to tell you something that might sound harsh, but it's true. Nobody cares about your potential. The world doesn't care about what you could do. It cares about what you actually do. Your potential is like an unplanted seed. It holds all the possibility of becoming a mighty oak tree. But until you plant it, until you water it, until you tend to it day after day, it's just a seed. Many people live their entire lives in the getting ready phase. They're always preparing, always planning, always waiting for the right time. They're like a plane sitting on the runway, engines running, but never taking off. Don't be that plane. Take off even if your flight plan isn't perfect. Let me share a story with you. Years ago, I met a man named Tom. Tom had a dream of owning his own restaurant. He had been a chef for 20 years, working in other people's kitchens. Every time we talked, he would tell me about his plans. He had everything mapped out: the menu, the decor, even the name. But year after year, nothing happened. One day I asked Tom what he was waiting for. He listed all the usual reasons. He owed enough money, not the right location, not the right time in the market. I asked him a simple questions. What's the smallest step you could take today toward your restaurant? He thought for a moment and said he could start catering small events on weekends. That simple shift in thinking, from the giant leap of opening a restaurant to the small step of weekend catering, changed everything for Tom. He started small, cooking for birthday parties and office meetings. Within 6 months, his weekend business was booming. Within a year, he had enough regular clients and savings to open a small cafe. Today, he owns 3 successful restaurants. The point isn't that you should start small, though that's often wise. The point is that you should start, period. Action creates opportunity. Action creates momentum. Action creates results. Everything you want in life is on the other side of action. Better health, It's on the other side of getting up and exercising. More money? It's on the other side of starting that business or asking for that raise. Better relationships? They're on the other side of having that difficult conversation. The beauty of action is that it teaches you more than any book, any seminar, or any teacher ever could. When you take action, you learn what works and what doesn't. You learn about yourself. You build confidence. Each step you take, no matter how small, makes the next step easier. Now, the truth that most people don't want to hear, motivation is a myth. At least the way most people think about it is a myth. They think motivation comes first, then action follows. But that's backwards. Action comes first. Motivation follows. It's like pushing a car. The hardest part is getting it moving from a standstill. But once it's moving, it becomes easier to keep pushing. Your most basic actions in your life. Did you wait until you felt motivated to learn to walk as a baby? No. You just started trying. Did you wait until you felt motivated to learn to read? No, you just started learning. The motivation came from the progress you made, not the other way around. It will always be there. Tibet will always try to hold you back, but here's a secret. Action is the antidote to both. When you're in motion, when you're doing something, fear loses its grip. Doubt becomes background noise. The only way to overcome fear is to do the thing you're afraid of. You might be sitting there thinking, but what if I fail? Well, let me tell you something about failure. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a part of success. Every successful person you admire has failed more times than you can count. The difference is they kept taking action. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before he successfully created the light bulb. When asked about his failures, he famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Each failure was an action that brought him closer to success. I want you to understand something crucial. Motivation isn't a feeling you wait for. It's a result you create through action. It's like pushing a car. The hardest part is getting it moving from a standstill. But once it's moving, it becomes easier to keep pushing. Your life works the same way. The most dangerous words in the English language are "I'll do it tomorrow." Tomorrow is a dangerous dream that keeps you stuck today. The most successful people in the world don't have any more hours in their day than you do. They just use those hours differently. They take action while others wait. Your life is like a book. Every day is a new page. But here's the catch. You can't write tomorrow's page until you've written today's. You can't skip ahead. You can't wait for inspiration to write itself. You have to put pen to paper, day after day, action by action. Let me tell you about the power of small actions. Many people think success comes from big, dramatic moves. But usually it's the small, consistent actions that create the biggest changes. Think about water dripping on a rock. One drop doesn't do much, but drop after drop, day after day, year after year, that water can cut through solid rock. The same principle applies to your life. Reading one page a day might not seem like much, but in a year, that's 365 pages. Several books. Saving a small amount of money each day might not seem significant, but over time, it can grow into a substantial sum. Walking for just 10 minutes a day might seem trivial, but it's far better than not walking at all. The quality of your life will be determined by the quantity of your actions, not your intentions, not your plans, not your goals, your actions. Small actions taken consistently create massive results over time. It's like compound interest for your life. Look around your room right now. Everything you see started as an idea in someone's mind. But it didn't stop there. Someone took action. Someone forced themselves to move forward, to create, to build. Every invention, every business, every achievement started with one person taking one action. I'm going to give you a simple truth that has the power to change your life. The pain of discipline weighs ounces, but the pain of regret weighs tons. Every time you force yourself to take action, you're choosing the lighter burden. Every time you put something off, you're adding to a weight that will eventually become unbearable. The most successful people in any field, they all share one common trait. They're action takers. They don't just talk about what they're going to do. They do it. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They create their own conditions through action. Many people think they need to feel confident before they take action. But that's backwards. Confidence comes from taking action. It comes from doing things, from facing challenges, from overcoming obstacles. You don't get confidence from thinking about doing things. You get it from doing them. Right now, someone out there with less talent than you, less education than you, less money than you, is succeeding simply because they're willing to take action. They're willing to do what you're thinking about doing. They're willing to start before they're ready. The world belongs to the doers, not the dreamers, not the planners, not the wishers, the doers. The people who force themselves to take action day after day, regardless of how they feel, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of the obstacles. Let me tell you about the power of decision. The word decision comes from Latin, meaning cut off. When you make a real decision to take action, you cut off all other possibilities. You cut off excuses. You cut off procrastination. You cut off the possibility of failure through inaction. Most people never make real decisions. They make wishes, they make hopes, they make plans, but they don't make decisions. A real decision is backed by action. It's backed by commitment. It's backed by the willingness to do whatever it takes to achieve the desired result. You have greatness within you. You have talents and abilities that the world needs, but they're locked inside, waiting for you to take action. They're like muscles that need to be used to grow stronger. The more action you take, the stronger they become. Time is going to pass anyway. 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, the time will pass whether you take action or not. The only question is, where do you want to be when that time comes? Do you want to be in the same place with the same problems, same frustrations? Or do you want to be moving forward, growing, achieving? Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for validation. Don't wait for someone to tell you it's okay to start. The only permission you need is your own. The only validation that matters is the validation that comes from taking action and seeing results. Remember this, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. The same applies to taking action. Yes, maybe you should have started sooner. Yes, maybe you've wasted time. But none of that matters now. What matters is what you do next. Every successful person you admire started exactly where you are now, with a decision to take action. They weren't born successful. They weren't given success. They built it action by action, decision by decision, day by day. Your future self is watching you right now. That person is either going to thank you for taking action today or regret that you didn't. The choice is yours. But understand this, the choice doesn't just affect today. It affects every tomorrow that follows. The world needs what you have to offer. It needs your ideas, your creativity, your energy, but it can't use what you don't share. It can't benefit from talents you keep hidden. It can't be changed by actions you don't take. You might be thinking, but I don't know where to start. Start anywhere. Start with something small. Start with something that takes 5 minutes, because 5 minutes of action is infinitely more valuable than 5 hours of planning. Let me tell you about the power of momentum. Once you start taking action, something magical happens. Opportunities appear, doors open, people notice, resources become available. But none of this happens until you start moving. It's like a cosmic law. The universe responds to action. Everything in your life right now, everything you have, everything you've achieved, everything you've become, is the result of actions you've taken in the past. If you want different results, you need different actions. It's that simple. The path to success isn't a straight line. It's not a clear road. It's more like walking through a dark room. You can't see the whole path, but you can see enough to take the next step. That's all you need. Just enough light for the next step. Force yourself to take that step. Force yourself to move forward. Force yourself to begin. Because once you begin, once you take that first action, everything changes. The world responds differently to someone in motion than it does to someone standing still. Your time is running out. Not to be dramatic, but it's the truth. Every day that passes is a day you can't get back. Every opportunity you don't take is an opportunity lost forever. Every action you don't take is a result you'll never see. But here's the good news. You can start right now. You can change everything starting with your next action. You can begin creating the life you want with your very next decision. The power is in your hands. The choice is yours. Take action. Take it now. Take it even if you're scared. Take it even if you're unsure. Take it even if you don't feel ready. Because ready is a myth. Perfect is a lie. The only thing that's real is action. Your future is created by what you do, not what you know. It's created by what you try, not what you think about trying. It's created by the actions you take, not the actions you plan to take. Force yourself to take action. Force yourself to move forward. Force yourself to begin. Because in the end, the only thing worse than failure is never having tried at all. The only real failure is the failure to act. The time is now. The person is you. The action is waiting. What are you going to do about it? Memory rests. Every great achievement in human history started with a single action. Every fortune was built $1 at a time. Every skill was mastered one practice session at a time. Every relationship was built one conversation at a time. Every dream was achieved one step at a time. Your life is waiting for you to take action, not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. Now, this moment, because this moment is all you have. This moment is where change happens. This moment is where your future begins. The choice is yours, but choose quickly, because while you're deciding, life is happening. While you're planning, opportunities are passing. While you're waiting, others are doing. Force yourself to take action. It's the only way to create the life you want. It's the only way to become the person you're meant to be. It's the only way to make your dreams reality. Start now. Start today. Start with this moment, because in the end, it's not what you could have done that counts. It's what you did. And the only way to do anything is to take action. Your moment is here. Your time is now. Take action.